This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
(6:15). This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news edited by Lakshman Fonseca and read by J. Yogaraj. First, the headlines. Dr. Hemant Herath warns the employees should not kiss or hug to wish one another at the commencement of the work for the new year tomorrow. Transport facilities have been streamlined for those who are visiting Colombo from rural areas. A new university village to be established in Millennia. Tourism Minister says the industry will come to its normalcy within the next 2 months. Litrogas says it would take another 3 weeks for the supply of gas to return normal. A state-owned corporation will shortly be introduced to import LP gas. In sports, the Birmingham 2022 Queen's Baton Relay will arrive in Sri Lanka tomorrow. Hundreds of cars go up in flames in France at the New Year Eve. And those are the headlines. Deputy Director General of Health Services, Dr. Hemant Herath, warns the employees should not kiss, hug or eat together in small enclosed areas tomorrow. All government workplaces are set to start work for the new year from tomorrow. He said they should strictly follow all health guidelines issued by the government and the Health Ministry to prevent the spread of COVID-19. He told a media briefing at the Health Promotion Bureau in Colombo that employees usually kiss and hug to wish one another and celebrate the commencement of the work for the new year. He requests the employees to wish the office mates according to the traditional Sri Lankan way without kissing and hugging. He also said they should not remove their mask, sit together or to eat. He informed that no institution should let all the employees together at the same time in an enclosed area and have food, and he added that it is important to educate the employees about COVID-19 prevention activities. Transport officials say that transport facilities have been streamlined for those who are visiting Colombo from rural areas. The Director General of the National Transport Commission, Nilan Miranda, said the additional buses will be added to the service from tomorrow. He urged bus drivers to refrain from overcrowding and strictly follow the health guidelines imposed by the government. The Chief Operating Officer of the Sri Lanka Transport Board, ASB Veerasurya, said the number of interprovincial buses has also been gradually increased. Meanwhile, the Department of the Railways said the train services are also operating without any hindrance. This news comes to you from Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Sri Lanka Insurance Motor Plus, the best option.
The government has scheduled to establish a new university village. Minister Bandula Gunawardena says 123 acres in the Millennia area has been allocated to Mahapala Trust Fund in this regard. The minister said recent amendments made in the Mahapala Trust Fund had facilitated to provide more scholarships opportunities for the Sri Lankan undergraduates. Minister of Tourism Prasanna Ranatunga is optimistic the country or the industry will come to its normalcy within the next 2 months. He hopes over 125,000 tourists will arrive in the island within this month. Sri Lanka will come close to 70,000 tourists in December till the Boxing Day. According to official data, it is the highest in a month since the pandemic hit the country in March 2020. The Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority says a total of 69,941 tourists arrived in the island from December 1st to 26th, and the total number of arrivals is 174,930 for the full year. It said that India has remained the key source market in December with 19,574 Indians visiting the country, followed by Russia with 951 and the United Kingdom with 6,819. Tourism officials say the country will record at least 100,000 arrivals per month in 2022. It will be 50% of the monthly arrivals in the comparison to the year 2018. Litro Gas says it would take another 3 weeks for the supply of gas cylinders to return to normalcy. The chairman of the Litro Gas, Teshara Jayasinghe, says it will take about 3 more weeks for people to buy a gas cylinder as usual. He said there is a delay due to the longer time taken for the newly introduced manufacturing process. The company has also made arrangements to import a large number of technical tools needed to accelerate that process in future. A state-owned corporation will be shortly introduced to import LP gas. State Minister Dilum Amnigama says the corporation will be administered under the Ministry of Trade. He said that there is a monopoly in the trade of LP gas as there are 2 companies involved in the trade today. In order to break the last long trade monopoly, it is a must to initiate at least 5 other companies into LP gas trade, State Minister added. And that's local news.
In 200 meters, turn left.
This is not just my daily commute. I drive to power my nation's future. Sri Lanka Insurance Motor Plus introduces specialized motor insurance for you who drive our nation forward. Choose tailor-made insurance solutions. Up to 75,000 rupees claim settlements within 3 working hours. Exclusive discounts through Motor Plus loyalty rewards. Easy and 0% interest payment plans. Only from Sri Lanka Insurance.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The implementation of making vaccine cards mandatory for the general public has been delayed due to the concerns raised by several parties. The decision was to be enforced with effect from yesterday. Health Minister K.L. Rambukwella says it will take at least another couple of weeks to finalize everything, the decision. He added that the ministry was of the opinion that introducing a QR code would be convenient for the people rather carrying a vaccine card. Therefore, necessary arrangements are being made in collaboration with the Ministry of Technology to introduce the QR code, the minister added.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
In Watchlight, Director General of the Department of Agriculture, Dr. Ajanta De Silva, says the opposition is fear-mongering the public, saying that there will be an acute shortage of food in the country by April. He said the major rice mill owners had paddy stocks to last for 1 year, and vegetable farmers will have access to chemical fertilizer since President approved chemical fertilizer for certain identified crops following expert advice. Moving on to world news. Hundreds of cars go up in flames in France at the New Year's Eve. Protesters of Nagasaki took part in the sit-in on New Year's Day to call for the abolition of nuclear weapons. Face masks are to be worn in secondary classrooms in England schools. And those are the headlines of the world news. Hundreds of cars go up in flames in France each New Year Eve. The number of cars burned has declined to 874 compared with the New Year's Eve in 2019 when 1,316 vehicles went up in flames. Interior Minister Gerald tweeted on Saturday, France sees cars set on fire during the year of many reasons, including gangs hiding clues of their crimes and people making false insurance claims. Car burning has become a common event in cities across France during New Year Eve. Protesters in the Japanese city of Nagasaki took part in the sit-in on New Year's Day and called for the abolition of the nuclear weapons. A sit-in is held in the city every year on January 1st. Nagasaki was hit by an atomic bomb during World War II. More than 60 people participated in the protest in the city's Peace Park yesterday. The protesters observed a moment of silence at 11:02 a.m. The atomic bomb exploded in Nagasaki at that time on August 9, 1945. Face masks are to be worn in secondary classrooms in England schools to reduce the spread of the Omicron variant, the government has announced. Meanwhile, school staff unions have issued a demand for urgent action to limit the spread of the virus. They warned national exams would be put off at risk without further measures. They also called for air cleaning units, financial support for obscene cover, and help with on-site testing. Schools across the UK are reopening after the Christmas break over the next week, with pupils being asked to take part in on-site COVID testing. And that was World News.
Development News is brought to you by Let's take all out of the coconut tree and make the island thriving and prosperous. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
The Ceylon Chamber of Commerce USAID survey reveals that exporters have a positive outlook for export earnings. It said Sri Lankan exporters were confident in their outlook for export growth despite challenges faced in the first half of the year 2021. This survey was conducted by the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce and the United States Agency for International Development's Partnership for Accelerating Results in Trade, National Expenditure and Revenue Project. And that was Development News.
Development News was brought to you by the coconut tree is well grown in almost all the parts of the island. It is an exceptional source of extra income. The shell, the husk and almost all the parts of the coconut tree makes you money, providing you with an excellent extra source of income. It will also help to nourish the economy of the country. You will be guided with all necessary informations regarding the coconut cultivation, with the novel cultivation techniques and all other related and upgraded informations by the Coconut Research Institute, Lunavilla. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
In sports, the Birmingham's 2022 Queen's Baton Relay will arrive in Sri Lanka tomorrow. The Queen's Baton Relay has been a tradition at the Commonwealth Games since its inaugural appearance at the Cardiff 1958. Sri Lanka is the 25th destination out of 72 Commonwealth nations and territories that it will be visiting. The President of Commonwealth Games Association in Sri Lanka, Suresh Subramaniam, and other dignitaries from the Ministry of Sports and British High Commission will officially welcome the baton at the Bandar Naik International Airport tomorrow.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The Sri Lanka's National Day at the Expo 2020 Dubai will be held tomorrow. The National Day ceremony will be inaugurated by Foreign Minister Professor G.L. Pires and the Minister of Tourism Prasanna Ranatunga. Sri Lanka's pavilion is in operation for a period of 6 months, and key event for Sri Lanka, being the designated National Day on Monday, was to be graced by the Sri Lankan Ambassador to UAE, Minister of Tourism, Chairperson of Sri Lanka Tourism and other dignitaries. Prime Minister Rajapaksa was reportedly invited by the ruler of Dubai, Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, to visit Expo as a chief guest the National Day for Sri Lanka at the Expo.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Economic news, courtesy of
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Metal Miner Insights data indicate that steel prices continue to cool in the new year. It added global crude steel production continued to decline in November as a result of the US exported more petroleum and crude oil products that it imported in the first half of 2021. Metal Miner Insights data also indicates US cold rolled coil closed last week at $2,053 per short ton, and the price remains well above the December 2019 price.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
In weather report, the Met Department says showers or thundershowers will occur at times in northern, north central, eastern and Uvo provinces and in Matale and Nuwara districts. Showers or thundershowers will occur at several places in western, Sabrakamu and northwestern provinces and in Kandy, Gaul and Mathura districts during the evening or night. Fairly strong winds, gusty winds about 40 kilometers per hour is expected over northern and north central provinces and in Hambantota district. Misty conditions can be expected in Sabrakamu and central provinces during the morning hours too. And with that, we conclude this news broadcast. Before we conclude this news broadcast, let's look at the main points once again. Dr. Hemant Theherath warns the employees not to kiss or hug to wish one another at the commencement of the work for the new year tomorrow. Transport facilities have been streamlined for those who are visiting Colombo from rural areas. A new university village to be established in Millenia. Tourism Minister says the industry will return to its normalcy within the next 2 months. Litro Gas says it will take another 3 weeks for the supply of gas to return normalcy. A state-owned corporation will be shortly introduced to import LP gas. With that, we conclude this evening news broadcast of Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.